Nope. Cease to persuade, gentle Proteus. Homekeeping youth have ever homely wits. Were it not affection tethers thy gazes to the sweet glances of thy love, I rather would entreat thy company to see the wonders of the world abroad. But, as thou lovest, love still, and thrive therein, even as I shall when I to love begin.
Wilt thou be gone, sweet Valentine? Adieu. Think on thy Proteus when thou dost haply meet some rare noteworthy object in thy travel. Wish me partaker in thy happiness when thou dost meet good hap in thy danger, if ever danger do environ thee. Commend your grievance to my holy prayers, for I will be thy beadsman, Valentine.
And on some love book pray for my success?
On some book I love, I'll pray for thee.
Ah, to be in love where scorn is brought with groans, and coy looks with heart-sore sighs, a fading moment's mirth with 20 watchful, weary, tedious nights. If happily won, 'tis but a hapless gain, and if lost, why 'tis a happy labor won. And yet, a folly bought with wit, or else a wit by folly vanquished.
So by your circumstance, you call me fool.
So by your circumstance, I fear you'll prove.
'Tis love you cavil at, I am not love.
Love is your master, and he masters you. And one who is so yoked by a fool, methinks, should not be chronicled for wise.
Yet writers say, as in the sweetest bud the eating canker dwells, so eating love inhabits the finest wits of all.
And writers say that the forwardmost bud, even as it is eaten by the canker ere it blow, thus, by love, the young tender wit is turned to folly. Oh, blasting in the bud, losing his verdure even in prime. Once more, adieu. My father's at the road, expects my coming, there to see me shipped.
And thither will I bring thee, Valentine.
Oh, sweet Proteus, no! So, let us take our leave. From Milan, let me hear from thee by words of letter, of thy success in love, and what else may chance here in the absence of thy friend. And I likewise will visit thee with mine.
All happiness perchance to thee in Milan.
The same to you at home. And so farewell.
He after honor hunts, I after love. He leaves his friends to dignify them more. I leave myself, my friends, and all for love. Thou, Julia, thou hast metamorphosed me, made me neglect my studies, lose my time, war with good counsel, set the world at naught, made wit with musing weak, heart sick with thought.
Sir Proteus, save you! Saw you my master?
But now he has gone hence to embark for Milan.
20 to 1 then, he is shipped already, and I have played the sheep in losing him.
Yes, and the sheep doth very often stray, and if the shepherd be a while away.
You conclude that my master is a shepherd then, and I a sheep?
I do.
Why then, his horns are my horns, whether I wake or sleep.
Is a very silly answer, and very fitting a sheep.
Nay, that I can deny by a circumstance.
I shall prove it hard, I'll prove it by another.
Well, the shepherd seeks the sheep, and not the sheep the shepherd?
Nay, the sheep follows the shepherd for fodder. Shepherd follows the sheep not for food. Thou followest thy master for wages. Thy master follows not thee for wages, therefore thou art a sheep.
Such another proof would make me cry, bah!
But dost thou hear? Gavest thou my letter to Julia?
I, sir, I, a lost mutton, gave your letter to her, a laced mutton, and she, a laced mutton, gave me, a lost mutton, nothing for my labor.
It's too small a pasture for such store of muttons.
If the crown be overcharged, you had best stick her.
Now, you mistake me. 'Twere best pound you.
A pound to a pin? Fold it over and over. 'Tis threefold too little for carrying a letter to your lover.
You mistake me even further. I meant the pound? A pinfold?
A pound to a pin? Fold it over and over. 'Tis threefold too little for carrying a letter to your lover.
But what said she?
Now you have taken the pains to set it together. Take it for your pains.
No, thou shalt have it for bearing the letter.
Well, sir, I perceive I must be fain to bear with you.
Beshrew me, but you have a quick wit.
And yet it cannot overtake your slow purse.
Come, set the matter in brief. What said she?
Open your purse. Let the money and the matter may be both at once delivered.
Well, sir, here, for thy pains. Now, what said she?
Truly, sir, I think you'll hardly win her.
Why, couldst thou perceive so much from her?
Sir, I could perceive nothing at all from her. No, not so much as a ducat for delivering your letter, and being so hard to me that brought your bind, I feel she'll prove as hard to you in telling your bind. Give her no token but stones, for she's as hard as steel.
What said she? Nothing?
Nay, not so much as, take this for thy pains. To testify your bounty, I thank you. You have disturbed me. In requite whereof, henceforth carry your letters yourself. And so, sir, I'll commend you to my master.
Go, be gone, to save your ship from wreck, which cannot perish having thee aboard, being destined for a drier death on shore. I must go find some better messenger. I fear my Julia would not deign my lines coming from such a worthless post.
But say, Lucetta, now we are alone, wouldst thou then counsel me to fall in love?
Aye, madam, so you stumble not unheedfully.
Of all the fair resort of gentlemen that every day with word encounter me, in thy opinion, which is worthiest love?
Oh, please repeat their names. I'll show my mind according to my simple, shallow skill.
What thinkst thou of the fair Sir Eglamour?
Well as a knight, well spoken, neat and fine, but were you, he never would be mine.
What thinkst thou of the rich Mercatio?
Well, of his wealth, but of himself, so.
What thinkst thou of the gentle Proteus?
I'd like to see what folly reigns in us.
How now? What means this passion at his name?
Pardon, dear madam, 'tis a passing shame that I, unworthy bodied as I am, should comment thus on lovely gentlemen.
Why not on Proteus as of all the rest?
Then thus, of many good, I think him best.
Your reason?
I have no other than a woman's reason. I think him so because I think him so.
And wouldst thou have me cast my love on him?
Aye, if you thought your love not cast away.
Why, he of all the rest hath never moved me.
Yet he, of all the rest, I think best loves you.
His little speaking shows his love but small.
Fire that's closest kept burns most of all.
They do not love that do not show their love.
They love least that let men know their love.
Oh, I would I knew his mind.
Madam, peruse this paper.
To Julia. Say from whom?
Oh, that the contents will show.
Say, who gave it thee?
Oh, Sir Valentine's page, but sent, I think, from Proteus. He would have given it to you, but I, being in the way, received it in your name. Pardon the fault, I pray.
Now, by my modesty, a goodly broker, dare you presume to harbor wanton lines, to whisper and conspire against my youth? It is an office of great worth, and you an officer fit for the place. There, take the paper, see it be returned, or else return no more into my sight.
To plead for love deserves more fee than hate.
Will ye be gone?
That you may ruminate.
And yet I would I had o'erlooked the letter. It were a shame to call her back again and plead her to a fault for which I chid her. What a fool is she, that knows I am a maid and would not force the letter to my view, since maids in modesty say no to that which they would have the proffer construe aye. Fie, fie, how wayward is this foolish love, that, like a testy babe, will scratch the nurse and presently all humbled kiss the rod. How churlishly I chid Lucetta hence, when willingly I would have had her here. How angrily I taught my brow to frown, when inward joy enforced my heart to smile. My penance is to call Lucetta back and pray her to a fault for which I chid her. What ho, Lucetta?
What would your ladyship?
'Tis near dinner time.
No, I wish it were, so you might kill your stomach on your meat instead of on your maid.
What is that you take up so gingerly?
Nothing.
Why didst thou stoop then?
To take a paper up that I let fall.
And is that paper nothing?
Nothing concerning me.
Then let it lie for those that it concerns.
Oh, it will not lie for those that it concerns, unless it have a false interpreter.
Some love of yours hath writ to you in rhyme.
Aye, that I may sing it to a tune. Give me a note, your ladyship will set.
Best sing it to the tune of Light of Love.
It is too heavy for so light a tune.
Heavy? Belike it hath some burden then?
Aye, and it's very melodious too. Would you sing it?
And why not you?
I cannot reach so high.
Let's see your song. How now, minion?
Well, so you keep the tune and you would sing it out.
And why not
And
you?
yet, I think methinks this tune, I don't like it.
You do not?
No, it is too sharp.
You, minion, are too saucy.
Nay, now you are too flat. And mar the concord with too harsh a descant. There wanteth but a mean to fill your song.
The mean is drowned with your unruly bass.
Indeed, I bid the bass for Proteus.
This babble shall not henceforth trouble me. Here is a coil with protestation. Go, get you gone and let the papers lie. You will be fingering them to anger me.
She makes it strange, but she would be best pleased to be so angered by another letter.
Nay, would I were so angered with the same. Oh, hateful hands, to tear such loving words. Injurious wasps, to kill the bees that feed on such sweet honey and kill them with your stings. I will kiss each several paper for amends. Oh, look, here is writ, kind Julia. Unkind Julia, as in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stones, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. And here is writ, love wounded Proteus, poor wounded name. My bosom as a bed shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed, thus I search it with a sovereign kiss. But twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Be calm, good wind, blow not a word away till I have found each letter in the letter, except mine own name. That some whirlwind bear into a ragged, fearful hanging rock and throw it thence into the raging sea. Lo, here in one line is his name twice writ. Poor forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus, to the sweet Julia. That I'll tear away. And yet I will not. 'Tis so prettily he couples it to his complaining names. Thus will I fold them one upon the other. Now kiss, embrace, contend, do what you will.
Madam, dinner is ready and your father stays.
Well, let us go.
What? Should these papers lie like telltales here?
If you respect them, best to take them up.
Nay, I was taking them up for lying them down, and yet here they will not lie for catching cold.
I see you have a month's mind to them.
Oh, you may say what sight you see. I see things too, though you think I wink.
Come, come, will't please you go?
Tell me, Pathina, what sad talk was that wherewith my brother held you in the cloister?
'Twas of his nephew Proteus, your son.
Why, what of him?
He wondered that your lordship would suffer him to spend his youth at home, while other men of slender reputation put forth their sons to seek preferment out. Some to the wars to try their fortune there, some to discover islands far away, some to the studious university. For any, indeed for all of these exercises, he said that Proteus, your son, was meet, and did request me to importune you to let him spend his time no more at home, which would be great impeachment at his age, having known no travel in his youth.
Nor needest thou much importune me to that. Whereon the month I have been hammering. I have considered well his loss of time and how he cannot be a perfect man. Not being tried and tutored in the world, experience is by industry achieved and perfected by the swift course of time. Then tell me, where will I best to send him?
I think your lordship is not ignorant how his companion, youthful Valentine, attends the emperor in his royal court.
I know it well.
'Twere good, I think, your lordship sent him thither. There shall he practice tilts and tournaments, discourse with noblemen, hear sweet discourse, and be an eye of every exercise worthy his youth and nobleness of birth.
I like thy counsel. Well thou hast advised. I will dispatch him to the emperor's court.
Tomorrow, it may please you, Don Alfonso and other gentlemen of good esteem are journeying to salute the emperor and to commend their service to his will.
Good company shall Proteus go with them, and in good time. Now we will break with him.
Sweet love, sweet line, sweet life. This is her hand, the agent of her heart. This is her oath for love, her honor's pawn. Oh, that our fathers would applaud our loves and seal our happiness with their consents. Oh, heavenly Julia!
How now? What letter are you reading there?
'Tis just a word or two of commendations from Valentine that was delivered by a friend sent from him.
Lend me the letter. Let me see what news.
There is no news, my lord, except that he lives happily and is daily graced and well beloved by the emperor, wishing me with him, a partner of his fortune.
How stand you affected to his wish?
As more depending on your lordship's will than by the grace of his friendly wish.
My will is something sorted to his wish. Muse not that thus I suddenly proceed, for I will, and there an end. I am resolved that thus shall spend more time. With Valentinus being in the emperor's court, tomorrow be in readiness to go.
My lord, I cannot be so soon prepared. Please you, deliberate a day or two.
Look, what thou wantest shall be sent after thee. Tomorrow, thou must go. Come on, Cathino. You shall be employed to hasten in his expedition.
Thus have I shunned the fire for fear of burning, and now I am drenched in the sea and therefore drowned. I feared to show my father Julia's letter, for what if he should take exception to my love, but he hath taken advantage of my excuse and hath most accepted against my love. The spring of love resembleth the uncertain beauty of an April day. For now, you've seen all the sunny beauty, and by, a cloud takes all away.
Sir Proteus, your father calls for you. He is in haste. Therefore, I pray you go.
Well, this is it. My heart accords there too. Yeah, 1,000 times. It answers no.
Sir, your glove.
Not mine. My gloves are on.
Why then, this may be yours, for this is but one.
Let me see. Aye, give it here. 'Tis mine. Oh, sweet ornament that decks a thing divine. Sylvia. Oh, Sylvia!
Sylvia! Madam Sylvia!
How now, Sirrah?
She is not within hearing, sir.
Who bade you call her?
Your worship, sir, or else I mistook.
Well, you'll still be too forward.
And yet, I was less chidden for being too
Oh,
slow.
go to, sir. What dost thou know of Lady Sylvia?
She that your worship loves?
Well, how know you that I am in love?
Married by these special marks. First, you are wont, like Sir Proteus, to wreathe your arms like a malcontent, to relish a love song like a robin redbreast, to walk alone like one that had the pestilence. True! To sigh like a schoolboy that had lost his ABC. To weep like a young wench that had buried her granddad. To fast like one that takes diet. To watch like one that fears robbing. To speak calling like a beggar at Hallowmas. You were wont, when you laughed, to crow like a cock. When you walked, to walk like one of the lions. When you fasted, it was presently after dinner. When you looked sadly, it was for want of money. And now that I look on you, I can hardly call you my master.
Are all these things perceived in me?
They're all perceived without ye.
Without me? They cannot.
Without you? Nay, that's certain. For without you were so simple, none else would. But you are so without these follies, that these follies are within you, and shine through you like the water in a urinal. That not an eye that sees you is but a physician to comment on your malady.
But dost thou know, my lady, Sylvia?
She that you gaze on so as she sits at supper?
Knowest thou that? Even she, I mean.
Is she not hard favored, sir?
Well, not so fair boy as well favored.
Sir, I know that well enough.
What dost thou know?
That she is, as of you, well favored.
I mean that her beauty is exquisite, but her favor infinite.
That's because the one is painted, and the other out of all count.
Well, how painted? How out of count?
Marry, sir, so painted to make her fair, that no man counts of her beauty.
Well, how esteemest thou me? I account of her beauty.
You never saw her since she was deformed.
How long hath she been deformed?
Ever since you loved her.
I have loved her since I saw her, and I still see her beautiful.
If you love her, you cannot see her.
Why?
Because love is blind. Oh, that you had mine eyes, or your own eyes, and the lights they were wont to have when you chid at Sir Proteus for going ungartered.
What should I see then?
Your own present folly, and her passing deformity. For he, being in love, cannot see to garter his hose, and you, being in love, cannot see to put on your hose.
Belike then, boy, you are in love. For yesterday, you could not see fit to wipe my shoe.
True, sir, I was in love with my bed. I thank you. You swinged me for my love, which makes me the bolder to chide you for yours.
In conclusion, I stand affected to her.
I would you were seated, so your affection would cease.
Last night, she enjoined me to write some letters to one she loves.
And have you?
I have.
Are they not lamely writ?
Not so, boy, but as well as I can do them. Oh, psst, she comes.
Oh, excellent motion! Oh, exceeding puppet! Now will he interpret to her?
Madam, mistress, 1,000 good morrows.
Oh, very good even. Here's a million of manners.
Sir Valentine and servant. To you 2,000.
He should give her interest, and she gives it him.
Madam, as thou enjoined, I have writ the letter to the secret, nameless friend of yours, which I was most unwilling to proceed in, but for my duty to your ladyship.
I thank you, gentle servant.
'Tis very clerkly done.
Nay, my lady, it hardly came off. For being ignorant to whom it goes, I writ at random, most doubtfully.
Perchance you think too much of so much pains.
Oh, no, mistress. I mean, please, you say it. I will write 1,000 times more. And yet...
A pretty period. Well, I will guess the sequel. And yet, I will not name it. And yet, I care not. And yet, here, take this again. And yet I thank you, meaning henceforth to trouble you no more.
And yet you will, and yet another, yet!
What means your ladyship? Do you not like it?
Yes, the lines are very quaintly writ, but since unwilling, take them. Nay, take them.
Madam, they are for you.
Aye, sir, you writ them at my request, but I will none of them. They are for you. I would have them writ more movingly.
But please, your ladyship, I'll write you another.
And when it is writ, for my sake, read it over. And if it please you, so. If not, why, so.
If it please me, your ladyship? What then?
Why, if it please you, take it for your labor. And so good morrow, servant.
Oh, just unseen, inscrutable, invisible, as a nose on a man's face, or a weathercock on a steeple. My master sues to her to become her suitor, he being her pupil to become her tutor. Oh, excellent device! Was there ever heard a better, that my master, being scribe, to himself should write the letter?
Oh, now, sir, what are you reasoning to yourself?
Nay, I was rhyming. 'Tis you that have the reason.
To do what?
To be a spokesman for Madame Sylvia.
For whom?
For yourself. Why, she woos you by a figure.
What figure?
By a letter, I should say.
What? She hath not writ to me.
No believing you, indeed, sir. But did you perceive her earnest?
She gave me none except an angry word.
Why, she hath given you a letter.
That's the letter I writ to her friend.
And that letter hath she delivered, and there an end.
I would it were no worse.
I'll warrant you, 'tis as well. For often have you writ to her, and she, in modesty, or else for want of idle time, could not again reply. Or fearing else some messenger that might her mind discover, herself have taught her love himself to write unto her lover. All this I speak in print, for in print I found it. Why muse you, sir? 'Tis dinner time.
I have dined.
Aye. But hearken, sir, though the chameleon love can feed on the air, I am one that am nourished by my victuals, and would fain have meat. Oh, be not like your mistress! Be moved! Be moved!
Have patience, gentle Julia.
I must, where is no remedy.
When possibly I can, I will return.
If you turn not, you will return the sooner. Keep this remembrance for thy Julia's sake.
Why then, we'll make exchange. Here, take you this.
And seal the bargain with a holy kiss?
Here is my hand for my true constancy. And when the hour slips in the day wherein I sigh, not Julia for thy sake, the next ensuing hour, some foul mischance torment my love's forgetfulness. My father stays my coming. Answer not, the tide is now. Nay, not thy tide of tears. That tide will stay me longer than I should. Oh, Julia, farewell. What? Gone without a word? Aye, so true love should do. It cannot speak, for truth hath better deeds than words to grace it.
Sir Proteus, you are stayed for.
No, I come. Alas, this parting strikes poor lovers dumb.
Nay, 'twill be this hour ere I have done weeping. All the kind of the lances have this very fault. I have received my proportion, like the prodigious sun, and am going with Sir Proteus to the Imperial's court. I think Crab my dog be the sourest-natured dog that lives. My mother weeping, my father wailing, my sister crying, our maid howling, our cat wringing her hands, and all our house in a great perplexity. Yet did not this cruel-hearted cur shed one tear. He is a stone, a very pebble stone, and has no more pity in him than a dog. Lucifer would have wept to have seen my parting. Why, my grandmam, having no eyes, look you, wept herself blind at our parting. Nay, I'll show you the manner of it. This shoe is my father. No, this left shoe is my father. No, this left shoe is my mother. Nay, that cannot be so neither. Yes, it is so, it hath the worser soul. This shoe with the hole in it is my mother, and this my father. A vengeance on it, there it is. Now, sir, this staff is my sister, for, look you, she is as white as a lily and as small as a wand. This hat is Nan, our maid. I am the dog. No, the dog is himself and I am the dog. Ah, the dog is me and I am myself. Aye, so. Now come out of my father. Father, your blessing. Now should not the shoe speak a word for weeping. Now should I kiss my father? Well, he weeps on. Now come out of my mother. Oh, that she could speak now like a wood woman. Well, I kiss her. Why, there it is. Here's my mother's breath up and down. Now come I to my sister. Mark the moan she makes. Now the dog, all this while, sheds not a tear, nor speaks a word. But see how I lay the dust with my tears.
Launce, away, away aboard! Thy master is shipped, and thou art to post after with oars. What's the matter? Why weepest thou, man? Away, ass! You'll lose the tide if you tarry any longer.
It is no matter if the tide were lost, for it is the unkindest tide that ever any man tied.
What's the unkindest tide?
Why, he that's tied there, Crab, my dog.
Tut, man, I mean thou lose the flood. Losing the flood, lose thy voyage. Losing thy voyage, lose thy master. In losing thy master, lose thy service. In losing thy service... Why dost thou stop my mouth?
For fear thou shouldst lose thy tongue.
Where should I lose my tongue?
In thy tail.
In thy tail?
Lose the tide, and the voyage, and the master, and the service, and the tide. Why, man, if the river were dry, I'm able to fill it with my tears. If the wind were down, I could drive the boat with my sighs.
Away, man, I was sent to call thee!
Sir, call me what thou darest.
Wilt thou go?
Well, I will go.
Mistress!
Cytherea frowns on you.
Aye, boy. It is for love.
Not of you.
Well, of my mistress, then.
Twerk could you knocked him.
Servant, you are sad.
Aye, my lady. It seems so.
Seems you that you are not.
Well, happily I do.
So do counterfeits.
So do you.
What seems I that I am not?
Wise.
What instance of the contrary?
Well, your folly.
And how quote you my folly?
I quote it in your jerkin.
My jerkin is a doublet.
Oh. Well, then I'll double your folly.
How?
What, angry, Sir Thurio, do you change color?
Oh, give him leave, madam. He is a kind of chameleon.
That hath more mind to feed on your blood than live in your air.
Aye, as you have said.
Aye, sir, and done too, for this time.
We know it well. You always end ere you begin.
A fine volley of words, gentlemen, and quickly shot off.
Indeed, madam. We thank the giver.
Who is that, servant?
Why, yourself, sweet lady. Sir Thurio borrows what he uses kindly from your lady's looks. And most wisely indeed.
Sir, if you spin word for word with me, I shall make your wit bankrupt.
As we have heard, you have an exchequer of words. And I think no more to feed your followers with, for by their bare liveries, they live by your bare words.
No more, gentlemen, no more. Here comes my father.
Now, daughter Sylvia, you are hard beset. Sir Valentine, your father is in good health. What say you to a letter from your friends of much good news?
Oh, my lord, I'd be happy for any messenger from thence.
Know you Don Antonio, your countryman?
I, my lord. I know the man to be of great repute, and not without desert to match.
Hath he not a son?
Aye, my lord. A son who deserves the honor and regard of such a father.
You know him well.
I know him as I know myself. For since our infancy, we have spent our days together. And though I myself have been an idle truant, omitting the sweet passage of days to clothe myself in angel-like perfection, yet hath Sir Proteus, for that is his name, made fair use and advantage of his days. Though he is young, his experience is old, his head unmellowed, but his knowledge vast. And beyond all note of praise comes all the praise that I now bestow. He is complete in mind and body, with all good grace to grace a gentleman.
Beshrew me, sir. But if he make this true, he is as worthy of an empress' love, as fit to be an emperor's counselor. Well, sir, this gentleman is come to me with commendation from great potentates, and here he means to spend his time a while. I think 'tis not unwelcome news to you.
My lord, if I wished any, it'd be he.
Welcome him then, according to his work. Sylvia, I speak with thee, and Cytherea. Valentine, I will not cite him to it. I will send him to you hither when he comes.
This is the gentleman I told my lady about that would accompany me, yet that his mistress did not hold his eyes in their crystal looks.
Oh, be like that now she hath enfranchised them upon some other pawn for fealty.
Oh, no, my lady. I think she holds them prisoners still.
Nay, then he should be blind, and being blind, how could he seek his way to seek out you?
Oh, madam, love hath 20 pairs of eyes.
They say that love hath not an eye at all.
To see such lovers as yourself, Thurio, upon a homely object, love may wink.
Have done, here comes the gentleman.
Oh no, Proteus! Your ladyship, I prithee, please give some boon to this fair gentleman in name of your service. Come on.
His worth is warrant to his welcome hither, if this be he you oft have wished to hear from.
Aye, it is, madam. Please entertain him to be my fellow servant to your ladyship.
Too low a mistress for so high a servant.
Not so, sweet lady, to mean a servant to have a look of such a worthy mistress.
Oh, come now, leave off all discourse of disability.
My duty will I boast of, nothing more.
And duty never yet did want his meed. Servant, you are welcome to a worthless mistress.
I'll die in him that says so but yourself,
That you are welcome.
that you are worthless.
Madam, my lord, your father would speak with you.
I wait upon his pleasure. Come, Sir Thurio, go with me. Once more, new servant, welcome. I'll leave you to confer of home affairs. When you have done, we look to hear from you.
We'll both attend upon your ladyship.
So, how fares everyone from whence you came?
They are all well and have them much commended.
And your friends?
I left them all in good health.
How does your lady? How fares your love?
My tales of love were once to weary you. I know you thrive not in a love discourse.
Aye, Proteus, but that life is altered now. I have done penance for contemning love, whose high imperious looks have punished me with penitential groans and weary, weary heart-sore sighs. In my punishment for contemning love, love hath chased all sleep from my enthralled eyes, and made them watchers of mine own heart's sorrow. Proteus, love is a mighty lord, and hath so humbled me. For now I see there is no woe to his correction, nor no discourse except now it be of love. Now can I break my fast, and dine, and sup, and sleep upon the very naked name of love.
Enough! I read your fortune in your eye. Was this the idol that you worship so?
Even she, is she not a heavenly saint?
No. But she is an earthly paragon.
Call her divine.
I will not flatter her.
Well, flatter me then, for love delights in praises.
When I was sick, you gave me bitter pills, and now I must minister the like to you.
Well, speak truth of her then. If not divine, then let her be a principality, sovereign to all creatures of the earth.
Except my mistress, of course.
Accept not any, except thou will accept against my love.
Have I not reason to prefer mine own?
And I will help thee to prefer her too. For she shall be dignified with this highest of honors, to bear my lady's train, lest the base earth should from her vesture steal a kiss, and make rough winter everlastingly.
Why, Valentine, what braggartism is this?
Pardon me, Proteus. All I can is nothing to her, whose worthies make all other worthies nothing. She is alone.
Then let her alone.
Nay, not for the world, my friend. She is mine own, and I am as rich in having such a jewel as 20 seas, if the sand were all pearls, the water nectar, the rocks pure gold. Pardon that I do not dream on thee, for thou seest how I dote upon my love. My hated rival, whom her father likes but for his possessions are so huge, has gone along with her, and I must after them, for love, as thou knowest, is full of jealousy.
But she loves you.
Aye, we are betrothed, nay, more, our marriage hour, for all the cunning of my flight, by which must be decided from how I must ascend her window, the ladder made of cords, and all plotted for my happiness. Oh, Proteus, go with me to my chambers, there to aid me with thy counsel in these affairs.
I shall inquire you forth. For now I must needs unto the road to disembark some necessaries I needs must use, and then I'll attend you presently.
Will thou make haste?
I will. Even as one heat by another heat expels, or as one nail by strength drives out another, so is the remembrance of my former love by some newer object quite forgotten. Is it mine or Valentine's praise, her true perfection or my false transgression that makes me reason less to reason thus? She is fair, and so is Julia that I love, that I did love. For now my love is thawed. Methinks my zeal to Valentine is cold, and that to he his love was not as was wont. Oh, but I love his little lady too much, and that is the reason I love him so little. How should I, with greater advice, approach her when without advice I begin to love her? 'Tis but her picture I've yet beheld, and hath been dazzled by her reason's light. But when I look on her perfections, there is no reason but I shall be blind. If I can check my erring love, I will. If not, to compass her, I'll use my skill.
Lance, by mine honesty, welcome to Milan.
Forswear not thyself, sweet youth, for I am not welcome. I reckon this always, that a man is never undone till he be hanged, nor never welcome to a place till some certain shot be paid, and the hostess say, welcome.
Come on, you madcap. I'll to the alehouse with you presently, where for 1 shot of 5 pence thou shalt have 5,000 welcomes. But, sirrah, how did thy master part with Madam Julia?
Marry, after they closed in earnest, they parted very fairly in jest.
But shall she marry him?
No.
How then shall he marry her?
No, neither.
What, are they broken?
No, they're as whole as a fish.
Why then, how stands the matter with them?
Marry, thus. When it stands well with him, it stands well with her.
What an ass art thou? I understand thee not.
What a block art thou that thou canst not? My staff understands me.
What thou sayest?
Aye, and what I do too. Look thee, I'll but lean, and my staff understands me.
Stands under thee indeed.
Why, stand under and understand is all one.
But tell me true, got to be a match.
Ask my dog. If he say aye, it will. If he say no, it will. If he shake his tail and say nothing, it will.
The conclusion is, then, that it will.
Thou shalt never get such a secret from me, but by a parable.
'Tis well I get it so. But Lance, how sayest thou that my master's become a notable lover?
I never knew him otherwise.
Then how?
A notable lover, as thou reportest him to be.
What? Thou horse and ass, thou mistakest me.
Why, fool, I meant not thee, I meant thy master.
I tell thee, my master's become a hot lover.
Why, I tell thee, I care not though he burn himself in love. If thou wilt, go with me to the alehouse. If not, thou art a Puritan, not worth the name of a Christian.
Why?
Because thou hast not so much charity in thee as to go to the ale with a Christian. Wilt thou go?
At thy service.
To leave my Julia shall I be forsworn. To love fair Sylvia shall I be forsworn. To wrong my friend I shall be much forsworn. Even in that power which first gave me my oath, provokes me to this threefold perjury. Love bade me swear, and love bids me forswear. At first I did adore a twinkling star, but now I worship a celestial sun. Fie, unreverent tongue. Julia I lose, and Valentine I lose. If I keep them, I needs must lose myself. If I lose them, thus find I by their loss. For I to myself am dearer than a friend, and love is most precious in and of itself. I will forget that Julia is alive, remembering my love for her is dead. And Valentine I'll hold an enemy, aiming at Sylvia as a sweeter friend. This night he intendeth with corded ladder to climb celestial Sylvia's chamber window. To that I'll inform the Duke her father, who, all enraged, will banish Valentine. Love, lend me wings to make my purpose swift, as thou hast lent me wit to plot this drift.
Counsel, Lucetta, gentle girl, assist me, and even in kind love I do conjure thee, who art the tablet wherein all my thoughts are visibly inscribed and engraved, to lesson me and tell me some good mean, how with my honor I may undertake a journey to my loving Proteus.
Better forbear till Proteus return. The journey is wearisome and long.
A true devoted pilgrim is not weary to measure kingdoms with his feeble steps, much less shall she that hath love's wings to fly, and when the flight is made to one so dear, of such divine perfection as Sir Proteus.
Oh, please, wait till he returns.
Knowest thou not that his looks are my soul's food? A pity the dearth I have pined in by longing for that food so long a time. Didst thou but know the inly touch of love, thou wouldst as soon go kindle fire with snow as seek to quench the fire of love with words.
I do not seek to quench your love's hot fire, but qualify the fire's extreme rage, lest it burn beyond the bounds of reason.
The more thou dampst it up, the more it burns. The current that with gentle murmur glides, thou knowest being stopped impatiently doth rage. And so by many winding nooks he strays with willing sport to the wild ocean. Then let me go, and hinder not my course. I'll be as patient as a gentle stream, and make a pastime of each weary step, till the last step hath brought me to my love. And there I'll rest, as after much turmoil a blessed soul doth in Elysium.
Well, in what habit shall you go along?
Not like a woman, for I would prevent the loose encounters of lascivious men. Gentle Lucetta, fit me with such clothes as may beseem some well-reputed page.
Well then, your ladyship must cut your hair.
No, girl, I'll knit it up in silken strings with 20 odd conceited true love knots. To be fantastic may become a youth of greater time than I shall show to be.
Well, in fact, what fashion shall I make your breeches?
Why, even what fashion thou best likest, Lucetta.
Well, you must needs have a codpiece on them.
Out, Lucetta, that will be ill-favored.
A round hose now's not worth a pin, unless you have a codpiece to stick pins in.
Lucetta, as thou lovest me, let me have what thou thinkst meet and is most mannerly. But tell me, wench, how will the world repute me for undertaking so unstaid a journey? I fear me it will make me scandalized.
Well, if you think so, then stay at home and go not.
Nay, that I will not.
Well, then never dream on infamy, but go. If Proteus like your journey when you come, what matter who's displeased when you are gone? And yet, I fear me he shall not be pleased withal.
That is the least, Lucetta, of my fear. 1,000 oaths, an ocean of his tears, and instances of infinite love warrant me welcome to my Proteus.
Well, those thoughts are all servants to deceitful men.
Base men that do so to so base effect. But truer stars did govern Proteus's birth. His words are bonds, his oaths are oracles, his love sincere, his thoughts immaculate, his tears pure messengers sent from his heart as far from fraud as heaven from earth.
Pray heaven he proves so when you come to him.
Do him not that wrong to bear a hard opinion of his truth. Only deserve my love by loving him. And presently, go with me to my chamber to take a note of what I stand in need of to furnish me upon my longing journey. All that is mine I leave at thy dispose.
Ooh.
My goods, my lands, my reputation. Only in lieu thereof dispatch me hence. Come, answer not but to it presently. I am impatient of my tarriance.
Now, tell me, Proteus, what will you have with me?
No, worthy Prince, Sir Valentine, my friend, This knight intends to steal away your daughter. Myself and one made privy to the plot.
Proteus, I thank you for thy gentle service. This love of theirs myself have often seen haply when they have judged me fast asleep, and oftentimes have purposed to forbid Sir Valentine her company and my court, but fearing lest my jealous aim might err and thus unwillingly disgrace the man, or rashness I ever yet have shunned, I gave him gentle looks, thereby to find that which thou hast now disclosed to me. But that thou mayst perceive how much I fear this, knowing that tender youth is easily suggested, I nightly lodge her in an upper tower, the key whereof myself have often kept. From thence she cannot be conveyed away.
Know, my noble lord, that they hath devised a means how he her chamber window will ascend, with a corded ladder doth he bring to this.
Upon mine honor, he shall never know that I had any light of this from thee.
Sir, adieu. I pray you. I see very quickly. Valentine is coming. I will hide thee away.
Now, Sir Valentine, whither away so fast?
My lord, there is a messenger who waits me at the road to deliver some messages to my friends. I'm going to deliver them.
Be they of much import?
The tenure doth but signify my health and happy being at your court.
Why, then no matter. Stay with me a while. I am to break with thee of some affairs which touch me near, wherein thou must be secret. 'Tis not unknown to thee how I have sought to match my friend Cytherea with my daughter.
I know it well, and yes, the match is well made, for the man is most honorable and rich and of good character, and well worthy of a lady of such as your daughter. Cannot your grace win her to fancy him?
No, trust me, she is peevish, sullen, froward, proud, disobedient, stubborn, not in duty. In fact, neither regarding that she is my child, nor fearing me as if I were her father. This pride of hers, in fact, hath drawn her love from me, so that I fought to make the end of my days her childish duty. Now will take a wife and turn her out to who will take her in. Then let her beauty be her dower. For me and my possessions, she perceives not.
What would your grace have me do in this?
There is a lady here from Verona whom I much affect, but she is nice and coy and welcomes not my aged arrogance. Now therefore would I have thee as my tutor, for long and gone have I forgot to court. Therefore, I pray thee, tell me what way and in what manner I may bestow myself to be received in her illustrious eye.
Well, win her with gifts, if she respect not words, for dumb jewels, more often in their silent kind, do affect a woman's mind.
But she did scorn a gift that I did send her.
Well, send her another. Give her not o'er. For if she do chide, 'tis not to see you gone, for the fools are mad if left alone. And if she do frown, 'tis not in hate of you, but rather to beget more love in you. Take no repulse, whatever she may say, for get you gone, she doth not mean away, it's, well, the man who hath the tongue, I say, is no man at all, if with his tongue he cannot win a woman.
But
yes.
She I mean, is promised by her friends unto a youthful gentleman of worth, and kept secluded from the rounds of men. Thus no man hath access to her by day.
Well, then I would chance to her by night.
But the doors be shut, keys kept safe, and no man hath access to her by night.
What mayest one chance at her window?
But her chamber is a loft, far above ground and built so shelving that one cannot climb it without apparent hazard of his life.
Well, then a ladder, quaintly made of cords.
Now, as thou art a gentleman of blood, advise me how I may have such a ladder.
Well, when would you use it, your grace?
This very night, for love is like a child that longs for whatever it can have.
Come 7 o'clock, I shall get you such a ladder.
But harkye, I will go to her alone. How shall I best convey the ladder thither?
It shall be done at lights, my lord. That way it may be borne under a cloak that is of any length.
A cloak such as yours will serve the turn?
Yes. Thank you, servant. Yes.
Such as yours will serve the turn.
Yes.
And let me see that cloak. I'll get me such a run of another day.
My lord, any cloak will serve the turn.
How shall I bestow me to wear a cloak? Let me try thy cloak upon me. What letter is this saying? What's this? Sylvia? And here, an engine suited for my device. I'll be so bold to break the seal for once. I thought to harbor with my Sylvia nightly. And oh, could their master come and go as lightly himself would lodge, where senseless they are lying. My heart thoughts in thy pure bosom rest them. God, I do curse the grace that with such grace hath blessed them, because I would rest where they do rest with thee. Sylvia, this night will I enfranchise thee. Go, base invader, overweening slave. Bestow thy fawning smiles on equal mates. Take this as my greatest gift. Not that I have laid so much upon thee, but if I find thee in my territory in longer time than you can dispatch from my courts, by heaven, my wrath shall overcome the wrath that ever I loved my daughter or thee. I will not hear thy vain excuse. Take thee hence.
Why not death rather than living torment? To die is to be banished from myself, and Sylvia is myself. Banished from her is self from self, a deadly banishment. Oh. What light is light if Sylvia be not there, and I not in her presence to be fostered, illumined, cherished, kept alive? I fly not death to fly his deadly doom. Tarry I here and but attend on death. But fly I hence, I fly away from life.
So ho!
What seest thou?
Him we go to find. There's not a hair on his head, but 'tis a Valentine.
Valentine?
No.
Who then? His spirit?
Neither.
What then?
Nothing.
Can nothing speak? Master, shall I strike?
Who wouldst thou strike?
Nothing.
Villain, forbear.
Why, sir, I'll strike nothing. I
Sir
pray you.
Law, I said forbear. My friend Valentine, a word.
My ears are stopped and can hear no good news. So much bad hath already possessed them.
Then should I in dumb silence bury mine, for they are harsh, untunable, and bad.
Is Sylvia dead?
No, Valentine.
No, Valentine, indeed, for fair Sylvia. Hath she forsworn me?
No, Valentine, no.
No, Valentine, indeed, if Sylvia hath forsworn me. What is thy news?
Sir, there is a proclamation that you are vanished.
That you are banished. Banished with a B. Oh, that's the news.
I have fed upon this woe already. Excess of it will make me serpent. But did Sylvia know that I'm banished?
Aye, and he hath contributed to the doom a sea of melting pearl, which some may call tears, that she tendered at her father's churlish feet, but neither bended knee nor your hands held up. Sad sighs, deep groans, nor silver-shedding tears could penetrate his uncompassionate sire. To prison he commanded her with many bitter threats of biding there.
No more! No more! No more, unless the next words thou speakest have some malignant effect upon my life. And if they do, breathe them in mine ear as endless anthem to my endless dolor.
Seest thou lament which thou canst not help, and study help which that lamentest. Time is the nurse and breeder of all good. Thou canst not see thy love if thou stayest here. Besides, thou would abridge thy life. Hope is a lover's staff. Take that with you if you ever come across some grievings. Come, I will take thee to the city gate and confer with you in your love affairs. Thou canst not see Sylvia, and for thy own danger you must along with me.
I pray thee, Launce, if ever thou seest my boy, bid him make haste and meet me at the north gate.
Go on, sirrah, find him out. Come, Valentine.
Oh, dear Sylvia. Oh, vanished Valentine.
I may be but a fool, look you, and yet I have the wit to think my master is a kind of knave. But that's all one. He be but one knave.
How now, Senor Lawrence? What news with your mastership?
With my mastership? Why, it is at sea.
Well, your old I still mistake the word. What news then in your paper?
As black as ink.
Let me read them.
Finally, Jolthead, thou canst not read.
Thou liest. I can.
I will try thee. Tell me this, who begot thee?
Mary, the son of my grandfather.
Oh, illiterate loiterer, it was the son of thy grandmother. This proves that thou canst not read.
Come, fool, come. Try me in thy paper.
There, and St. Nicholas be thy speed.
In primis, she can milk.
Aye, that she can.
Item, she can wash and scour.
A special virtue, for then she need not be washed and scoured.
Item, she can spin.
Then may I set the world on wheels when she can spin for her living.
She hath many nameless virtues.
That's as much as to say bastard virtues, that indeed have no fathers, and therefore have no names.
Here follow her vices.
Close at the heels of her virtues.
Item, she is not to be kissed, fasting in respect of her breath.
Well, that fault may be mended with a breakfast. Read on.
Item, she hath no teeth.
I care not for that neither, because she loves crusts.
Item, she will often praise her liquor.
If her liquor be good, she shall. If she will not, I will, for good things should be praised.
Item, she is too liberal.
Of her tongue she cannot, but that's writ down she is slow of. Of her purse she shall not, for that'll keep shut. Now of another thing she may, and that cannot I help. Well, proceed.
Item, she hath more hair than wit, and more wealth than faults.
Stop there. I'll have her. She was mine, and not mine, twice or thrice in that last article. Rehearse that once more.
Item, she hath more hair than wit.
More hair than wit? It may be. I'll prove it. The cover of the salt hides the salt, and therefore it is more than the salt. The hair that covers the wit is more than the wit, for the greater hides the less. What's next?
And more wealth than faults.
Why, that word makes the faults gracious. Well, I'll have her, and if it be a match, as nothing is impossible.
What then?
Why, then will I tell thee that thy master stays for thee, at the north gate.
For me?
For thee. Aye, who art thou? He hath stayed for a better man than thee.
And must I go to him?
Thou must run to him, for thou hast stayed so long that going will scarce serve the turn.
Why didst thou not tell me sooner? Pox of your love letters!
Now will he be swinged for reading my letter. An unmannerly knave will thrust himself into secrets. I'll after, to rejoice in the boy's correction.
Thurio will not, but that she will love you now Valentine is banished from her sight.
Since his exile, she has despised me most, forsworn my company, and railed at me, that I'm desperate of obtaining her.
This weak, impressive love is as a figure etched in ice, which like a figure etched in ice will melt and thaw into water and just lose its form. A little time will thaw her frozen thoughts, and worthless Valentine shall be forgot. But Proteus, as your countryman, according to our proclamation, gone.
Gone, my good lord.
My daughter takes his going grievously.
A little time, my lord, will kill that grief.
I believe so, but Thurio thinks not. Proteus, the good conceit I hold of thee, thou shown thyself to have some good, it makes me want to confer further with thee.
Longer than I prove loyal to your grace, let me not live to look upon your grace.
I think thou art aware how much I would advise have my daughter and Cytherea matched.
I do, my lord.
Also, I think thou art aware how she has opposed her against my will.
She did, my lord, when Sir Valentine was here.
Aye, and perversely she perseveres. So now what may we do to make the girl forget the love of Valentine and love Cytherea?
The best way to slander Valentine with falsehoods and cowardice and poor descent, 3 things that women highly hold in hate.
Aye, but she will think 'tis spoken hate.
Aye, if it is delivered by an enemy, therefore by this circumstance it must be delivered by one she esteemeth as his friend.
Then you must undertake to slander him.
And that, my lord, I shall be loath to do. 'Tis an ill office for a gentleman, especially against his very friend.
For where thy good word cannot advantage him, thy slander never can disadvantage him. Besides, the office is mute, being entreated to it by your friend.
You have prevailed, my lord. I will do it in that I can speak to his dispraise. She shall not continue to love him long. But say this weed her love from Valentine, it follows not that she will love Sir Thurio.
Therefore, as you shall unwind her love from him, lest it should ravel and be good to none, you must provide to bottom it on me, which must be done by praising me as much as you in worth dispraise Sir Valentine.
And Proteus, we dare trust you in this kind because we know on Valentine's report you are already love's firm votary and cannot soon revolt and change your mind. On this warrant shall you have access where you with Sylvia may meet at large. She is lumpish, heavy, melancholy, and for your friend's sake will be glad of you, where you may temper her with your persuasion to forget the love of Valentine and love my friend.
And all I can do I will effect, but you, Sir Thurio, are not sharp enough. You must lay lime to tangle her desires, and by wailful sonnets, whose composed rhyme should be full fraught with serviceable vows.
Aye, much is the power of poesy.
Lay this on the altar of her beauty. Say that you sacrifice your tears, your sighs, your heart. Write till your ink be dry, and with your tears, moist it again. And feel for some feeling line that you may discover such integrity. Visit by night your lady's chamber window for some sweet concert. To their instruments tune a deploring dub. The night's dead silence will soon become to sweet complaining grievance. This and else nothing will inherit her.
Oh, this discipline shows that thou hast beaten love.
And thy advice this night, I'll put in practice. Therefore, sweet Proteus, my direction giver, let us into the city presently to sort some gentlemen well skilled in music. I have a sonnet that will serve the turn to give an onset to thy good advice.
About it.
We will have supper and then afterward determine our proceedings.
Even now about it, gentlemen, I will excuse you.
No, stand fast. I see a passerby.
If there be 10, shrink not, but down with them.
Stand, sir, and throw us about you what you have about ye. If not, we'll make you sit and rifle you.
My friends,
That's not so, sir. We are your enemies.
Peace! We'll hear him.
Ah, by my soul, will we? For he's a proper man.
Then know that I have very little wealth to lose. A man I am crossed with such adversity. My riches are these poor habiliments that, should you disfurnish me here, you take the sum and substance that I have.
Whither travel you?
To Verona.
Whence came you?
From Milan.
Have you long sojourned there?
Some 16 months, and might have longer stayed if crooked fortune had not found me.
Why, I repent it if it were done so. But were you banished for so small a fault?
I was.
For what offense?
For that which now torments me to rehearse. I killed a man whose death I much repent, and yet I slew him manfully, in fight, without any base treachery or false vantage, and held me glad of such a doom.
Have you the tongues?
Well, my youthly travel hath therein made me happy, or else I'd often been miserable.
By the bare scalp of Robin Hood's fat friar, this fellow were king for our wild faction.
We'll have him, sirs. A word.
Tell us this. Have you any means of substance?
Nothing but my fortunes.
Know then that some of us are gentlemen, such as the fury of ungoverned youth. Thrust from the company of lawful men, myself was from Verona, banished for practicing to steal away a lady, an heir, and their allied unto the Duke.
And I from Mantua, for a gentleman who, in my mood, I stabbed unto the heart.
And I for such like petty crimes as these. But to the purpose, for we cite our faults, that they may hold excused our lawless lives. And partly, seeing you are beautified with goodly shame, and by your own report, a linguist, and a man of such perfection, as we do in our quality much want.
Indeed, because you are a banished man, therefore above the rest, we parley to you. Are you content to be our general, to make a virtue of necessity and live, as we do, in this wilderness?
What say thou? Wilt thou be of our consort? Say aye, and be captain to us all. We'll love thee, and be ruled by thee. Pay thee homage, and be ruled by our king.
But if thou scorn our courtesy, thou diest.
Thou shalt not live to brag what we have offered.
I take thee at thy offer, and will live with thee, provided that you do no outrages to silly women or poor passengers.
No, we detest such vile base practices. Come, go with us. We'll bring thee to our cruise. We'll show thee all the treasures we got, which with ourselves all rest at thy disposal.
Already have I been false to Sir Valentine, and now I must be as unjust to Sir Thurio. Ah, but here comes Sir Thurio. For now we must to her chamber window with some evening music for her ear.
How now, Sir Proteus? Are you crept before us?
Aye, gentle Thurio, remember, thou creeps in service where it cannot go.
Aye, sir, but I hope not that you love not here.
Aye, sir, but I do, or else I would be hence.
Who? Sylvia?
Sylvia, for your sake.
I thank you for your own.
Thurio, fear not you, for I tell you that my cunning drift shall succeed.
Where meet we?
At St. Gregory's Well.
Farewell.
Madam! Madam!
Who is that that's Faith?
One that if you knew his pure heart's truth, you would learn to recognize the sound of his voice.
Sir Proteus, as I take it.
Sir Proteus, gentle lady, and your servants,
What is your will?
that I may compass yours.
You have your wish. My will is even this, that presently you hie you home to bed. Thou subtle, perjured, false, disloyal man. Thinkest thou I am so shallow, so conceitless, to be seduced by thy flattery that has deceived so many with thy vows? Return, return, and make thy love amends. For me, by this pale queen of night, I swear, I am so far from granting your request that I despise thee for thy wrongful suit, and by and by do intend to chide myself even in the time I spend in talking to thee.
I grant you, sweet lady, that I did love a woman, but alas, she is dead.
'Twere false if I should speak it, for I am sure she is not buried.
Say that she be, yet Valentine, thy friend, survives, to whom thyself art witness. I am betrothed, and art thou not ashamed to wrong him with thy importunacy?
I likewise hear that Valentine is dead.
And so suppose am I, for in his grave assure thyself my love is buried.
Then let me rake it from the earth.
Go to thy lady's grave and call hers thence, or at the least, in her sepulchre, thine.
He heard not that.
Madam, if your heart be so obdurate, vouchsafe me yet a picture for my love. The picture hanging in your chamber? To that I'll speak, to that I'll sigh and weep, for if the pure substance of your heart be else devoted, I am but a shadow, and to your shadow will I make true love.
'Twere substance, you would sure deceive it and make it but a shadow as I am.
I am very loath to be your idol, sir. But since your falsehood shall become you well to worship shadows and adore false shapes, send to me in the morning, and I will send it. And so, good rest. Ugh.
As wretches o'ernight that await execution in the morn.
When a manservant shall play the cur with him, look you, it goes hard. One that I brought up of a puppy, one that I saved from drowning when 3 or 4 of his blind brothers and sisters went to it. I have taught him, even as one would say precisely, thus I would teach a dog. I was sent to deliver him as a present to Mistress Sylvia from my master, and I came no sooner into the dining chamber, but he steps me to her trencher and steals her capons leg. Oh, 'tis a foul thing when a cur cannot keep himself in all companies. I would have, as one should say, one that takes upon him to be a dog indeed, to be, as it were, a dog at all things. If I had not had more wit than he, to take a fault upon me that he did, I think verily he had been hanged for it. Sure as I live, he had suffered for it. You shall judge. He thrusts me himself into the company of 3 or 4 gentlemen-like dogs, under the Duke's table. He had not been there, bless the mark, a pissing while, but all the chamber smelt him. Out with the dog, says one. What cur is that, says another. Whip him out, says the third. Hang him up, says the Duke. I, having been acquainted with that smell before, knew it was Crab. He goes me to the fellow that whips the dogs. Friend, quoth I, you mean to whip this dog? Aye, marry I do, quoth he. Then you do him the more wrong, quoth I. 'Twas I did the thing you wot of. He makes me no more do, but whips me out of the chamber. How many masters would do this for his servant? Nay, I'll be sworn, I have sat in the stocks for puddings he hath stolen, otherwise he had been executed. I have stood on the pillory for geese he hath killed, otherwise he had suffered for it. Thou thinkest not of this now. Nay, I remember the trick you served me when I took my leave of Madam Sylvia. Did not I bid thee, still mark me, and do as I do? When didst thou see me heave up my leg and make water against a gentlewoman's farthingale. Didst thou ever see me do such a trick?
Sebastian is thy name? I do like thee well, and I will employ thee presently in some service.
In what you please, I'll do what I can.
As thou wilt. How now, you whoreson peasants? Where hast thou been these 2 days loitering?
Marry, sir, I carried Mistress Sylvia the dog you bade me.
And what says she to my little jewel?
Marry, she says your dog was a cur and tells you cur's thanks is good enough for such a present.
But didst thou deliver my dog?
No, indeed, did I not. Here have I brought him back again.
What? Didst thou deliver this whining mongrel?
Aye, sir. The other squirrel was stolen from me by the hangman boys in the marketplace, and then I offered her mine own, who is a dog as big as 10 of yours, and therefore the gift the greater.
Go get thee and fetch my dog again, or never again come in my sight. Stayest thou to vex me here with your mutt? Sebastian, hardly I have entertained thee, for I need someone with some discretion who will do my business. For there's no trusting to yond foolish lout. But I see from your face and your behavior that, unless my augury deceive me, there is some good bringing up in you, good fortune and truth. Therefore I shall know thee, and let me entertain thee. Please deliver this unto Madam Sylvia. This ring here, she delivered it to me, well wanted it from me.
It seems you love not her to leave her token. Is she dead, belike?
No, sir, I do believe that she lives.
Alas.
Wherefore dost thou cry, alas?
Because methinks that she loved you as well as you do love your Lady Sylvia. She dreams on him that has forgot to love. You dote on her that cares not for your love. 'Tis pity love should be so contrary, and thinking on it makes me cry, alas.
Well, 'tis pity misplaced. Deliver you that to Madam Sylvia's chamber. There is her chamber, and wherewithal this letter. Tell her I accept the promise of her heavenly picture. When thou art done, hie unto home, where thou shalt find me, sad and solitary.
How many women would do such a message? Alas, poor Proteus, thou hast entertained a fox to be the shepherd of thy lambs. Alas, poor fool, why do I pity him that with his very heart despiseth me? Because he loves her, he despiseth me. Because I love him, I must pity him. 'Tis pity love should be so contrary. I will go to Madam Sylvia's chamber. Gentlewoman, good day. I pray you, be my mean to bring me where to speak with Madam Sylvia.
What would you with her, if that I be she?
If you be she, I do entreat your patience to hear me speak the message I am sent on.
From whom?
From my master, Sir Proteus, madam.
He sends you for a picture.
Aye, madam.
Go, give your master this. Tell him from me, one Julia, that his changing thoughts forget, would better fit his chamber than this shadow.
Madam, please you peruse this letter.
There, hold, I will not look upon your master's lines. I know they are stuffed with protestations and full of newfound oaths that he will break as easily as I do tear his paper.
Madam, he sends your ladyship this ring.
The more shame for him that he send it to me. For I have heard him say 1,000 times his Julia gave it him at his departure. Though his false finger have profaned the ring, mine shall not do his Julia so much wrong.
She thanks you.
What sayest thou?
I thank you, madam, that you tend to her. A poor gentlewoman, my master wrongs her much.
Dost thou know her?
Almost as well as I do know myself. To think upon her woes, I do protest, I have wept 100 several times.
Belike she thinks that Proteus hath forsook her.
I think she doth, and that's her cause of sorrow.
Is she not passing fair?
She hath been fairer, madam, than she is. When she did think my master loved her well, she in my judgment was as fair as you. But since she did neglect her looking glass, and threw her son expelling mask away, The air hath starved the roses in her cheeks, and pinched the lily tincture of her face, that now she has become as base as I.
How tall was she?
About my stature, madam, for at Pentecost, when all our pageants of delight were played, our youth got me to play the woman's part, and I was trimmed in Madam Julia's gown, which served me as fit, by all men's judgments, as if the garments had been made for me. And at that time I made her weep a good, for I did play a lamentable part, madam. 'Twas Ariadne, passioning for Theseus' perjury and unjust flight, which I so lively acted with my tears, that my poor gentlewoman, moved therewithal, wept bitterly, and would I might be dead if I in thought felt not her very sorrow.
Oh, she is beholding to thee, gentle youth. Alas, poor lady, alone and desolate. I weep myself to think about it. Here, youth, there is my purse. I give thee this for thy sweet mistress' sake, because thou lovest her. Farewell.
And she shall thank you for it, if e'er you know her. A virtuous gentlewoman, mild and beautiful. I hope my master's suit will be but cold, since she respects my mistress's love so much. Alas, how love can trifle with itself. Here's her picture. Let me see. I think if I had such attire, this face of mine were full as lovely as is this of hers. And yet the painter flattered her a little, unless I flatter with myself too much. Her eyes are gray as glass, and so are mine. Aye, but her forehead's low and mine's high. What should it be that he respects in her, but I can make respective in myself, if this fond love were not a blinded God? I'll use thee kindly for my mistress's sake, that used me so. Or else, by Jove I vow, I should have scratched out your unseeing eyes to make my master out of love with thee.
This is the hour that Madame Sylvia entreated me to come and know her mind. She has some great matter that she'd employ me in. Madam! Madam!
Who calls?
Oh, your servant and your friend, one that attends your ladyship's command.
Sir Eglamour! Oh, 1,000 times good morrow.
As many worthy lady to yourself, according to your ladyship's imposed, I am but early come to know what service it is your pleasure to command me in.
Oh, Eglamour, thou art a gentleman. Think not I flatter, for I swear I do not. Thou art not ignorant what dear goodwill I bear unto the banished Valentine, nor how my father would enforce me marry vain Thurio, whom my very soul abhors. Thyself hast loved, and I have heard thee say 1,000 times that no grief did ever come so near thy heart as when thy lady and thy true love died. Sir Eglamour, I would to Valentine, to Mantua, where I hear he makes abode, and, for the ways are dangerous to pass, I do desire thy worthy company, upon whose faith and honor I repose. I do desire thee, even from a heart as full of sorrows as the sea of sands, to bear me company and go with me. If not, to hide what I have said to thee, that I may venture to depart alone. I fear I am attended by some spies.
Madam, I pity much your grievances. Because they are virtuously placed, I give consent to go along with you, recking as little what betideth me, as much as I wish all good befortune you. The sun is just about to gild the western sky. Fear not, the forest is but 3 leagues hence. If we gain that, we are safe enough.
Sir Proteus, what says Sylvia to my suit?
Oh, sir, I do find her in a milder form than she was, but she still takes exceptions at your person.
What? That my leg is too long?
No, that it is too little.
I'll wear a boot. to make it somewhat rounder.
But love will not be spurred to what it loathes.
What says she to my face?
She says it is a good one.
A wanton lies. But not all pearls are fair.
But as the old ladies say, all men are pearls in beauteous ladies' eyes.
'Tis true, such pearls as put out ladies' eyes, for I had rather wink than look on them.
How like she my discourse?
Ill when you talk of war.
But well, when I discourse of love and peace?
But better indeed when you hold your peace.
What says she to my valor?
Oh, she has no doubt of that.
She needs not when she knows it cowardice.
What says she to my birth?
That you are well derived.
True, from a gentleman to a fool.
Consider she my possession?
Oh, aye, and she pities them.
Wherefore?
That such an ass should own them.
They are out on loan.
Here comes the Duke.
Trojan, Announcerio. And which of you saw Sir Eglamour of late?
Not I.
Nor I.
So you my daughter?
Neither.
And she fled into that villain Valentine. It's true. Her Father Lawrence saw them so. He was wandering in the woods in Reverie. Him he knew well and thought that it was she, but being masked, he was not sure of it. She was supposed to give confession at Patrick's cell this evening, and there she was not. Therefore, these likelihoods prove of her that she is gone. Therefore, I pray thee, gentlemen, stand not to discourse, but mount you presently and meet with me where the road rises on the long road to Mantua, whither they are fled. Come, Sir Gentlemen, and follow me!
Why, this it is to be a perverse girl that flies her fortune when it follows her. I'll after, more to be revenged on Eglamour than for the love of reckless Sylvia.
And I will follow, more for Sylvia's love than hate of Eglamour, that sends her thus.
And I will follow, more to cross that love than hate for Sylvia that is gone for love.
Come, be patient. We must bring you to our captain.
1,000 more mischances than this one have learned me how to brook this patiently.
Come, bring her away.
Where is the gentleman that was with her?
Being nimble-footed, they have outrun us, but Moses and Valerius follow him. Go thou with her to the west end of the wood. There is our captain. We shall follow him. The thicket is beset. He cannot escape.
Come, we must bring you to our captain's cave. Fear not, he bears an honorable mind, and will not use a woman lawlessly.
Valentine, this I endure for thee.
How used to breed a habit in a man. This shadowy desert, this unfrequented wood. I better brook than flourishing peopled towns. Here can I sit, unseen by any, and to the nightingale's complaining notes tune my discourse and record my woes. Thou that dost inhabit in my breast, leave not the mansion so long tenantless, lest, growing old and ruinous, the building fall and leave no memory of what it was. Repair me with thy presence, Sylvia, thou gentle nymph, cherish thy forlorn swain.
And off of me!
me!
Wait, what howling and what stirring is this today? These are my mates. I have some unhappy passenger in chase. They love me well, but I have much to do to keep them from uncivil outrage. Withdraw, Valentine. Who's this comes here?
Madam, in the service I have done for you, though you doth have no respect for your servants, I've rescued you from that who would force your honor and your love. I pray you, one fair look. This is but the small spoon that I can ask for, and less than that, I am sure you cannot give.
How like a dream this is I see and hear. Love grant me patience to forbear a while.
Miserable, unhappy that I am.
Unhappy that you were, but ere by my coming, I have made you happy.
By thy approach, thou makest me most unhappy.
And me, when he approacheth to your presence.
Had I been seized by a hungry lion, I would have been a breakfast to the beast, rather than have false Proteus rescue me. Oh, heaven, be judged how I do love Valentine, whose life is tender to me as my soul, and full as much, for more there cannot be, do despise false, perjured Proteus. Therefore be gone, solicit me no more.
What dangerous action, save it for death, would I not do for one calm look? Aye, 'tis the curse of love, and still approve it, where women can't love where they're beloved.
When Proteus cannot love where he is beloved, read over Julia's heart, thy first best love, for whose dear sake thou didst then rend thy faith into 1,000 oaths, and all those oaths descended into perjury to love me. Thou hast no faith left now, unless thou'st two, and that is far worse than none. Better have none than plural faith, which is too much by one. Thou counterfeit to thy true friend.
In love, who respects friend?
All men but Proteus.
If I cannot with such moving words turn you to a milder form, I will woo you like a soldier at arm's end, and force love against love. Force ye!
Heaven.
I will force my desire upon thee.
Ruffian, let go that rude, uncivil touch! Thou friend of an ill fashion!
Valentine, what are you doing
Thou
here?
common friend, who's without faith or love. Such is a friend now, treacherous man! Thou hast beguiled my senses. None but mine eyes could persuade me, yet now I shall say I have not one friend left alive, for thou wouldst disprove it. Who is to be trusted when one's right hand is perjured unto the bosom? Proteus, I'm sorry that I must trust thee no more, but count the world a stranger for thy sake. Oh! Time accursed that amongst all foes a friend should be the worst.
My shame and my guilt confounds me. Forgive me, Valentine. If e'er this apology is ransom for such offense, I tender it here. I did truly suffer as e'er I did commit.
Then I am paid, and do again perceive the honest. Who is not by repentance appealed is neither of heaven nor earth, for these are pleased. Through repentance, the Eternal's wrath appeased, and that my love may seem plain and free, all that is mine in Sylvia, I give thee.
Oh, me unhappy.
Look to the boy.
Why, boy, why, wag, what's the matter? Look up, speak.
Good sir, my master charged me to deliver this ring to Madame Sylvia, which, out of my neglect, was never done.
Where is that ring, boy?
Here it is.
Here, let me look at it again. What? This was the ring I exchanged with Julia. How camest thou across this? Indeed, on my depart, I exchanged this with Julia.
And Julia herself did give it me, and Julia herself had brought it hither.
Julia?
Behold her that gave aim to all thy oaths, and entertained him deeply in her heart. How oft wilt thou with perjury cleft the root? O Proteus, let this habit make thee blush. Be thou ashamed I have took upon me such an immodest raiment, if shame live in a disguise of love. It is the lesser blot modesty finds, women to change their shape than men their minds.
Then mend their minds. 'Tis true. Oh heaven, if men were constant, he were perfect. That one error fills him with faults, makes him run through all the sins. And constancy falls off ere it begins. What do I find in Sylvia's face, but that I spy more fresh in Julia's, with a constant eye?
Come, come, a hand from each. Let me be blessed to make this happy close. 'Twere a shame two such friends should long be foes.
Bear witness, heaven, I have my wish forever.
And I mine.
A prize, a prize, a prize.
Forbear, I say! A prize!
Just the Duke. Your Grace is welcome to a man disgraced. Banished Valentine.
The Valentine?
Yonder is Sylvia, and Sylvia's mine.
Thurio! Get thee back, or else thou diest!
Come not within the measure of my wrath. Do not name Sylvia thine. If once more, then Verona shall not hold thee. There she stands. Take possession of her with but a touch. I dare thee to breathe upon my love.
Oh, Sir Valentine, I care not for her eye. I find him but a fool that will endanger his body for a girl who loves him not. I claim her not, therefore she is thine.
The more degenerate and base art thou. Make such means for her as thou hast done, and leave her on such slight condition? Now, by the honor of my ancestry, I do applaud thy spirit, Valentine, and think thee worthy of an empress. Know then, I here forgive all former grief, cancel all grudge, repeal thee home again, pledge a new sight in thy unrivaled valor, to which I thus subscribe. Sir Valentine, thou art a gentleman and well derived. Take thou thy Sylvia, for thou hast deserved her.
I thank you, your grace. This gift hath made me happy. And so, for your daughter's sake, I ask a boon, of which I shall ask your grace of.
I grant it thee. Whatever it shall be, thou shalt have it.
These folk, with whom I've kept all, are folk of great worth. Forgive them what they have committed this day, and recall them from their exile. They are reformed, and full of good, and worthy of good employ, my lord.
Thou hast thy way. I pardon them and thee. Dear with them, and thou knowst their deserts. Come, let us go. We will confirm all doubt with pleasures, joy, and great solemnity.
Oh, and as we pass, please, I will, through a discourse, chance your grace to smile. What thinks your grace of this page?
Thinks the boy hath much grace in him. He blushes.
Aye, I'll warrant you, more grace than boy.
What mean you by this face?
Please you, I'll tell you as we pass along, that you may wonder what hath chanced. Come, Proteus. 'Tis but your penance to hear the tale of your loves discovered. That done, our place of marriage shall be yours. One feast, one house, one mutual happiness.